A few months ago, Netflix released a film called K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm very sure you've heard of it. And soon after, the wave of edits and fan arts and Demon Hunter sonas took over my Instagram feed. And eventually I had to give in and I watched the movie. And then I watched the movie again and four more times. Safe to say I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with the movie. Point being that I'm making a Demon Hunter sona for it. I'm making a sona for it based off of specifically Indian and specifically Gujarati aesthetics, since I'm Gujarati. I have my little mood board set up. I wanted to go more into depth of what I was thinking while making my thumbnails especially. So these are screen caps from the movie, just a better view in general of each character. I like how they stylize ethnic features, especially. So I want to go see if I can do something like that. Obviously they have very modern silhouettes, but they do tie in a lot of cultural significance, like the knot on their belts, the little symbols everywhere. Basically, it's just a lot of importance is put on the minute details of their outfits. And then obviously I have some just general stuff, a lot of cat's eye. They're so cool. I love them so much. Yeah, so just like outfits that I like the general vibe or silhouette of, especially. I definitely want to add something flowy, and like vests. I do like those. And then I've seen other people do their K-pop Demon Hunter sonas, and a lot of what was highlighted was the fact that they have shoulder armor, the little pauldrons on both Mira and Zoe's design, especially in their golden outfits. In their Idol Award outfits, especially, they have little shoulder pauldrons. So I wanted to see if I can tie in more functional armor into a design. So we'll see. We'll ideate that way. And then for this, obviously I am Indian, so I'm going to see. I want to put in more Indian-inspired cultural wear and symbolism. So I'll take you. This is the stuff that I had the most thought into what I wanted. I want to definitely do something that is in the middle of masculine and feminine. I don't want to do aggressively hyper-masculine or aggressively hyper-feminine look for my design. I know that for a fact. So just for this mood board, I took a lot of this from Pinterest. I tried to look for some blend of classical and modern styles and silhouettes, like this design here and this design. I highlighted some stuff I just wanted to make sure I pay attention to and add, which is a lot of neck jewelry, nose piercing mandala with large borders. I'll show you. If you're familiar with saris, then you don't know what I'm talking about, but the very big directional type of stuff, it just helps to accentuate the different parts of the clothing. And then obviously I like this a lot. I like the little circle just in the chest. I don't know why, but it's a fun thing for me. And then I wanted to make sure I included this pattern a lot, the bote, or that's how you would say it if you were Persian. If you're Indians, call it bote. But I wanted to make sure that I added it. You might be more familiar with this in the paisley pattern, but it's not. It was stolen by the British, like most things. Yeah, it comes from Iran, so it's really cool. It's a very specific marker of history, and I wanted to make sure that I pay respect to it. It's a cypress tree actually. It's really cool. Anyways, or I decided to just put to draw the people already, the anatomy already, because we've covered that I in my last video that I can't draw on camera very well. So this is just Granny trying my best. For the first one, I wanted to see what I could do with a more heavy design. So paying a lot more attention to to function and using a lot more of the red here, a lot more of the shoulder pauldron look, like I highlighted here. I wanted to, yeah. And then I think I'm gonna go for more top heavy design with this as well. It's not there. And something I also like to do is make sure there's a lot of asynchronous anatomy, asymmetry. A lot of asymmetry with the designs, just to make sure that it's visually interesting to look at. What I'm doing right now is just adding bangles. I would be remiss if I didn't add bangles. Yeah. So like I said, I'm going to make this a pretty top-heavy design. What I was thinking for this one was, okay, I'm gonna accentuate that shoulder pauldron actually. I want it to be bigger. Oh, I've done this on the same layer. I've made mistakes. Ooh. This one I also want it to be like a little bit more form-fitting, like their original. Because most of their outfits in the movie are pretty form-fitting. Like I feel like the most, like, you know, this stays pretty contract to her body. This stays pretty contract to her body. There's not really a lot of flowing materials besides I guess, her parachute pants, or I guess like the hair because in the animation the hair would form the secondary action rather than like a piece of cloth. But for this, I wanted to. If you've ever seen a Bharatanatyam dancer, they have really big buns and a circular. I don't know how to describe it in English. But they have a bun, so the secondary action here would be filled mostly by flowing clothes instead of the hair, because the hairs will be tucked away. And then I did say I liked the really big details. That was just like to help really differentiate that waist line. then I think I'm gonna go for a bit of like this. No, as I said, I want it to kind of have a V shape to accentuate the shoulders mostly. So no, I don't really. This is just me personally. I just don't like wearing shorts, so I think I'm gonna give this person jeans or uh. I see. I've made a mistake. I've added the second shoulder pauldron on this wrong layer. But that's, I don't need to worry about perspective here too much. I just okay, what kind of directioning that we're going here is very like there's just a lot of lines happening, so I'm gonna just a lot of straight across lines happening, so I'm gonna continue with that with these pants. I literally think that's just gonna be it. And you know, forms I love. But so now what I like to do is just choose a direction from this and just go even more into it. And so what I'm going to do is accentuate this folded fabric here, try and put more of it in. Because also what they did with the movie is that they had these Korean cultural details a lot more like, I don't want to say just playing second fiddle to the rest of the design, but it is kind of a lot of what they did. So what I appreciated is that they had it in a way that I was like, if you're Korean, you would probably recognize this a lot faster than, you know, someone like me who has no experience with Korean culture and just is observing it. So what I think I'm gonna do is that. Try and go for like a lot more not more hidden, but like going at it from a pop icon type of style instead. What I think I will keep though is the Bharatanatyam headdress. I don't know why it's so hard to just draw a circle. There we go. Okay. Nope. Oh. It's just gonna have to work. It's just gonna have to work. Wait, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna have to draw it later. Like a pleated situation, like kind of goti. Give them straight along there. Yeah, kind of a. Yeah, I do like that a lot more. I think I'm just gonna keep it that way. Because for this, yeah, I like that. Okay. This one, I'm having trouble with ideas. It's just what I do is just again exactly what I did last time. To take a direction that I liked, so I will take it. Well, I took inspiration from this with the last one. I'm going to, let's go back to the original. So she has demon details on her shoulder. It's a very street style kind of look with accentuation in the shoulder, the hips, mostly, especially with this belt here. That like, oops, no, yeah, put it apart, and it like makes her legs look long as well. But that with her design versus like the rest of them, this is kind of like this is shoulder armor. This is shoulder armor, and I do like it. What I'm gonna do is try and like merge these two designs mostly. Here's the thing, I don't know if I can do both a circle and a pauldron because it would just be too much. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna keep the circle just because I like the circle one. But I can add some hip instead. Seems silly right now, but I'm just gonna keep on going with it. Just how it has to go sometimes. And I was thinking, I like her outfit quite a lot. So I'm gonna try and go for something like that. It would be fun if it was kind of just like a necklace that was covering it. Because, fun fact, blouses, especially with how we use them currently, the whole like sari dupatta blouse, that was not a thing pre-colonialism. So what people used to do at the time, they musically cover their chest for like well, first of all, they never needed to. It was more just like for religious events if you wanted to look more pretty. It's never like, shame on thee, cover them up. It was never like that. That's colonial thinking. People would usually just wear giant jewelry on them. I think that's cool, and I think we should bring that back. No longer, and then for this one, I'm gonna have two dumkas. Here, dumkas. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to get rid of this. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna have to do, what I'm learning I like from this is a very, on this character especially, I have to lower the opacity here so we can see more, is definitely a lot more of like a bottom heavy design So I like these two a lot more than I like this. But I feel like this looks a lot more like Zagreus from the Hades franchise, from Hades games, if you're familiar with that. It's quite fun. I like this one the best, but it doesn't look it's not very pop star core. So I think I'm gonna see if I can meld these all together, and we'll get onto the rest of the design. I think these are 4 good designs that I like individually and together. Okay, I'm just gonna go through and roast all of them. I don't like this. I don't like the silhouette. There's no spice to it. I do like the Bharatanatyam headdress and the jhumkas, but that's all I like about it. And obviously I don't need this design. Putting into this, I was already having problems with what the pose should be. So just looking through Pinterest, like random K-pop idols poses, obviously Cat's Eye is a big thing right now. So I took Lara Raj, I took her pose from the end of Dream Academy's Confident, and that was my inspiration for this. You can see that it's wrong right now, that this pose is not that right now. And I ended up fixing it at the very last point, basically, of my thumbnailing, of my sketching phase. So that was fun. I decided that my weapon would be a katar. That is an Indian weapon. It's literally just like a punching blade. Like it's brass knuckles, but cooler, essentially. It's genuinely quite a cool weapon. Katar. I do suggest everyone look it up because it's very fun. Also in my art, I've been having like just generally problems with moving on to line art. I'll finish a sketch and then I'll try to start line arting, and then just my entire motivation to do art will just evaporate that day. So line arting was actually, this line art was kind of fun because I was using the oh, this is me putting in a lotus flower, since lotus flowers are also a big symbolism in India. It's also a big symbolism for just like religious figures in general. And it's just something that I've heard for a lot of my life. So it had its own personal meaning, and those are jhumkas on their ear. This was also just really fun. I got a lot of time to just research my own culture and background and history, and that's always fun for me. Yeah. Yeah, you can see at this point I switched the legs around because they were incorrect. I think it's here. Yeah. Also, clothing folds. What are they? I don't know. I am getting better at them. I don't know if this is right, but I know it's a better attempt. It wasn't you'll see with their armbands, kind of like sleeves, disjointed sleeves, that I did a lot of folds for that, but I'm not too confident on them just yet, so that's me pushing the pose again. So I'm gonna have to study more of it later. Also with hands, I need to talk about my skills with hands. Those are such a time for me. I always draw fingers a little bit too long, which I guess is like a better problem to have, at least, than like drawing them bad or like without form. So, to each their own, I guess. So I decided to go less of a disc and more with just flowers, because that is what they usually do in Bharatanatyam. But I don't really know if I like it, actually. I do like the headdress that I went for, because it felt more like subdued, so and it wouldn't like get in the way of the person's actions. Yeah, at some point at the beginning, you could see me laying out at the beginning of the shading phase, I laid out like a full multiply layer and started doing subtractive shading. It wasn't really working for me. Yeah, this is me making a brush to put the patterns on their clothing. This is the pattern that I was talking about earlier, the Iranian pattern. This is a bote, or bota, I guess it would be called. Again, if you're Indian. And just random stuff that I've seen on my mom's saris and stuff. And then I had to change it again. That's cloves. Those are cloves, by the way. The thing on the side, those are cloves. I think that's really funny. Yeah. And then I just added some more lighting effects and finished up with the stage. So, final notes. I am quite jazzed with this design. My biggest note, I'd say, is that the assignment was to make a Gujarati-inspired hunter, but it ended up just being more like South Asian-inspired instead of Gujarati-centric. For example, Bharatanatyam is a dance form from Tamil Nadu, so it's not actually Gujarati, it's South Indian. Also, the pattern I decided on for the most of the clothing is not something that I would go with normally. I was running out of time though for this video. Yes. However, 8 out of 10, because I tried coloring my shadows, bounce light. I tried doing bounce light to make the character fit more within the scene, and I think it did work. I think in the end I got a little bit lost overall, and it became just a South Asian Sona rather than my Sona. So if I do it again, it's definitely just going to be, for me, it's going to be very selfish is the answer. It's going to be a lot more selfish. But this time, I'm quite satisfied. This was fun. This was very fun, actually. Goodbye.